Wake up, wake up, wake up. Listen, man. This is the breakfast show, Tailgate with listen, man, I am struggling here. What is going on with my background? They said whatever. That's what happens in the morning, man. Welcome to the breakfast tailgate with Coach I. Hey man, we in here to talk some Major League Baseball All-Star Game, a little bit of USA basketball, and seemingly Clemson and FSU, every time we turn around, is headed to a different conference. We're here to talk about the latest news on all of that, man, and a little bit of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. So let's go ahead and get started with this, my man. How y'all fellas doing this morning, man? Listen, morning time. Y'all know I got to get it together, dog. I didn't have my background right. What's going on?
I love it, man. Dude, that's the way the mornings roll. It's the worst, too, like when you're trying to get kids ready, too, So you're like, right. Dang, where the heck is everything in life?
That's right, man. Shout out to the first lady up in the comments already. Say good morning. What's for breakfast? That's right, man. If you are watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, tell us what you're having for breakfast, man. Are you a Starbucks person? Are you at work? Don't get fired watching your phone at work, but we appreciate you tuning in. Chicken in the building this morning. Shout out to Chicken. He is a fanatic member. Appreciate you, Chicken. Chicken, what you having for breakfast this morning, man? Go Braves. This is why we chop. Hey, man, that's right. This is why we chop. We already know what's up. Sylvia says, hey, Jake, and hey, Stats. Listen, man. It's the breakfast time. Stat, what you got for breakfast over there, man?
Man, look, Shelby said it earlier this week, so had to go with it this morning. I went with a little strawberry cream cheese bagel this morning, and didn't have any Coke at the house, but sipping on a cherry Pepsi this morning. I know I'm a bad Southerner.
That's right. Starting the day off with that cocoa, that soda. You know, I don't drink a lot of soda. What you got over there, Jake? What you eat for breakfast? Are you a breakfast person?
That's like my favorite thing. It's so crazy, right? Like, I love breakfast. You think everyone would sit there and be like, hey, since you were a police officer, you must like coffee and donuts.
Right.
No, typically I don't, actually. I'm real strict about what I eat, and I'm like an oatmeal dude.
I like oatmeal, man, but I can only do it when it's cold. I can't do it. It's too hot outside to do oatmeal for me.
Well, man. Yeah. Well, I'm like, I'll go through like Chick-fil-A and get the one that mixes everything in.
Okay.
But I love Chick-fil-A's breakfast. But if I'm in the South, I'll be honest with you. You know where I used to go every morning?
Bojangles.
No. But you know where I go every morning is oh my gosh, Waffle House.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, sure. I love, especially the ones in small towns.
Well, you
love it, man.
All right, I got Chicken say he's having some Dunkin' Donuts this morning in honor of the cops.
Chicken. Get out of here.
Right.
Just saying that's for me, man.
Hey, what's going on, nephew? You out there? Be safe on that road, my man.
Oh, yeah.
Nephew, do you drink coffee? I don't even know, man. Do you drink coffee? I don't know if I ever asked you that. Benji in the building. What's going on, Benji? We appreciate you, my man. Channel member. We appreciate you, Benji. What you eating for breakfast this morning, Benji? Oh, man. So, listen, man, you got Benji in the house, Texas. You got Chicken in the house, Oklahoma, just now joining the SEC officially on July the 1st. Later on in the show, we're going to talk a little ACC. Stat Guys tailgate with the ACC because we're going to talk about them later on. How Clemson and FSU is like at every turn is being talked about with a different conference.
Yes.
Oh, he says no coffee. Oh, man, you must be an energy drink guy. Drink some Ebb tastes of San Antonio coffee, nothing to eat. Got you. Okay. Hey man, you on that is it straight black coffee? My fence is getting repaired now from the hurricane we had earlier. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Sorry to hear about that, but I'm glad you all right, my man. It's just right, just material damage, you know what I'm saying? Material damage. So hey man, on the slate for the day, we're gonna talk a little MLB All-Star. That's what I'm tailgating with this today. Some USA basketball. Kawhi dips out on us, and Clemson and FSU wanting out, man. But just to start, man, how about these young girls in the WNBA, stat guy? I mean, bro, the youth movement is for real.
Oh, wait, so yesterday, a full slate of games as they're wrapping up their first half season, getting ready to head into the All-Star and Olympic break. Caitlin Clark put up a line that no one in the W or in the NBA had ever done before. 29 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks. Just the whole stat line stuff are out here. And then not to be one-upped, Angel had to turn around and get her 14th straight double-double and also become the fastest player in W history to have 15 career double-doubles.
That's bananas, man. And these chicks are out here breaking records that not just rookie records, but WNBA records, Jake. I mean, it's amazing. Like, if you're not watching, like, and you're a basketball fan, I don't know what you're doing.
Seriously. I mean, I think it's so cool though, man. You want to talk about like an epic time to really tune in and start flipping your eyes into like WNBA right now is that time. And it's great. I love seeing stuff like this, especially with on the women's side of sports for like these young girls coming up, man. And I can remember being a young guy watching like these young NBA greats. Right. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that before in the 90s, late 80s, right? Is you sit there and you saw those teams, right? It just is so inspirational. And you're seeing that right now in the WNBA.
You're right.
Like it's fun to watch, like it's fun to watch. I love it. I love seeing what they do each and every night and every chance they play. So
man, that's right. If you're a basketball fan, but you haven't checked out the WNBA because maybe you didn't think the game was exciting enough or anything like that, man, these young girls are definitely making it exciting. I compared Angel Reese and Carmela Cardoso to I say, hey, man, maybe they can be the WNBA Tim Duncan and David Robinson because they like one of the first duos to both put up double doubles in the same game again, and not to be outdone by the youth. Asia Wilson, the best player on the planet, with her first 2020 game. She had 24 points and 20 boards. I mean, listen, man, Angel Reese getting it done. Just all over the game. To me, the game is definitely it's definitely exciting to watch. I mean, me and Stat Guy watched it before, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Stat, right?
Yeah, I was going to say the big thing, too, is it doesn't stop. Like, I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing Caitlin. Obviously, Angel Reese has been a very pleasant surprise with how efficient she's been and putting the numbers up she is. But there's more coming. The talent and the showmanship is on the way. I mean, Caitlin shoots the long threes, but you got some guards still in college that are flashy. And so I really think as this freshman class that'll be sophomores this year in college, with Juju, Hannah Hidalgo, Fuwali in South Carolina, the three of them are bucket getters. They're flashy with the ball in their hands. And then you got Kiki Rice, who just transferred to Southern Cal, who's another 6'7" post. So it's like you got some talent in college that the W is going to have to do one or two things. They're going to have to expand these rosters, or they're going to have to add a couple more teams, or some of these veterans that are used to staying in the league 12, 15, 17 years. Hey, these young pups are coming, and I really think within the next 4 to 5 years, we're going to see people start losing veterans instead of just continuing to cut rookies and second, third-year players, which is normally the trend.
Well, man, with that said, I hope the viewership and they get the CBA collective bargaining agreement right and all the money right, because I would like to see them expand the roster from 12 to 15, just like the NBA, and actually add more teams. I want them to do both. You know what I'm saying? Chicken get in, said, what's a stack? What's up? He said, it's turkey sausage for him at Dunkin' Donuts. That's right.
Okay. Interesting.
Hey, keep it healthy, chicken. We like that.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, man, the WNBA, it's too much talent to be letting somebody got let go 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, bro, this chick got cut like what, like already. And it's because they only have 12 roster spots per team. You know what I'm saying? Only 8 make the playoffs. And I get it. It takes money to expand. So let's get out here and support these ladies, man. Benji said, aren't there cities who are asking to bring it up? There are. But I think it's a money thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right now, I mean, as much as Caitlin Clark and the rest of the rookies, Caitlin Clark especially, helped the attendance this year, they're still going to lose money this year. So, and
I was going to add on that. It's not so much the cities that's the issue. It's finding owners that are willing to take the tax write-off on owning a loss. Most of the WNBA franchises are owned by people that either A, own an NBA or hockey franchise, or B, they're billionaires anyway. And so they just wash their hands with it. But as far as a new franchise, man, you'd be stupid to be like, oh, let me purchase something and start something that I'm going to lose millions of dollars on every year.
Yeah, well, I mean, go ahead, Coach.
No, I was going to say, go ahead, Jake.
Well, it's interesting because it right now is like you see what's going on, and you're going, man, if you could get in on this now, because you know, hey, like Jeff, you're right, dude. Like you
buy low, sell high, right?
100, man. Like, but look at the young people like from college that are coming up into the NBA. SC's team, I am so stoked to watch USC's girls basketball. Juju. Like, I am excited to see. Yes, like she's the real deal, right? Like, as a freshman, you see what she's doing. Like, I'm sitting there going, whoa.
She put up better numbers than Caitlin did her freshman year.
100.
Listen, Juju is crazy, dog. Listen right now. Just thinking off the top of my head, you probably looking at it. Depending on how the seeding goes, you could be looking at another USC, another Final Four, of course, South Carolina for sure, and then UConn and Paige Beckers. Let's not forget Paige Beckers. More than likely, without injury, is going to be the #1 pick in the draft next year. So. Again, buy low, sell high. I know that's a lot to take on right now, but I mean, you got cities like Benji said, like if Houston wants it, let's man, it's got to be some owners out there that's ready to get in.
So to touch on that, there's cities that have had teams in the past that want their teams back. You have Houston, down here in the South, the Charlotte want the Sting back, like there's no tomorrow. They're really pushing for that, and so. You have some options of places that would be landing homes, and I don't think it needs to be a lot. I think if you expand the rosters to 15, you could start with Charlotte and Houston, and then 4 years down the line, you add 2 more teams to get it up to 16. But that's, I mean, the 3 roster spots right now, you're already talking about adding some major contribution to the league and helping people stay in the league.
Right, man. And Benji gets in and says Roy Harmon coming back from injury along with the freshman of the year. That's right, Texas. I got Texas right up in that group of teams that can be up in there too, like Stat said, Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all the stalwarts. Hopefully our dogs can get it together in Athens. We used to be a stalwart back in our day. Lance B getting in. What's going on, Lance B? Said they need to strike while the iron's hot, expand all the roster. Right. That's what I'm saying, man. I think it's just the game is, if you're watching the WNBA, then you'll see what we're talking about, dog. It is definitely an exciting game. I get it. There's no high flying dunks and stuff but they are playing good basketball and it's entertaining. Bishop Frank's in the house. What's going on, Bishop? We appreciate you, man. That's right. It's the Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I got Stat Guy and Jake in here with me, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Share it with a friend. Tell a friend who knows some friends that can help us out. And if you're just feeling it and you want to support the show, buy us a coffee, man. Buy us a coffee.com at /Fanatic Sports, man. But
so
go ahead.
I do have one more question before we jump. So there is some controversy about Angels double streak now. I don't know if either one of y'all saw the game, but in the game yesterday, the clock's winding down to end the game. They're up big. She posts a girl up, calls for the ball. and kind of drop steps into her and falls to the ground and draws the foul, hits both free throws to get the double-double. Do y'all think it's an issue with her stat pattern? Obviously, people don't like that she grabs her own offensive boards, but somebody did the homework. Even without her own offensive rebounds, she still would lead the league
in offensive rebounds.
Yeah, by a very wide margin in offensive rebounds.
Right. I saw that stat. The guy said he took away all her because people were like, oh, she's missing a lot of shots and getting her own rebounds. He took away the rebounds, the offensive rebounds that she gets on her own shots. You know what I'm saying? And she's still vastly out rebounding the rest of the league. Shout out to Bishop Franks, man, joining the channel. We appreciate you, man, becoming a Tailgate supporter. Bishop Franks, you, Chicken, and Benji, y'all should have access to the Discord if y'all want to join that, man. We're trying to grow the community. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's gifted somebody a membership. So there it is. If somebody wants to be a member, Bishop Franks has gifted somebody a membership. All right, man. We appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, WNBA doing some big things. Y'all make sure y'all get out there, man. We're trying to grow the community, get in the Discord, talk some trash to each other, man, maybe set up some fanatic, meetup events, that kind of thing. So we appreciate those guys for jumping in there, man. So, but look, man, go ahead. That's right, man. Yeah, man. You get the Discord, you get you a couple of fanatic emojis right now, and as we grow, we'll put more levels in there. When the season comes around, to respect the hedges, I have a level up in there. So if you want to find out the scoop on how the dogs talk when they're not on camera, we'll have a Discord for the dogs as well.
It's so funny, man. It's so right, like it's because I roll Tide, but at the same time, I always tell people I got a dog mentality, and they're like, "What? How do you support? How are you a Georgia fan and a Alabama fan?" I said, "Dude, time out. I didn't say that. You guys got to remember where I come from." And they're like, "What? Yeah, it's the Huskies." Okay. Well, I guess they're
right. You just a fan. You just a fan of good coaching and good football,
dude,
right?
I love football.
Right, man, and who better to support than the Dogs and Tide? The Dogs and the Tide gonna get it on September 28th, man. So y'all be looking out there, man. Shout out to our guy JV, one of my respected hedges brethren, man. He runs Tailgate Kings. Listen, man, a big organization that does more than just big tailgates, does corporate events too. But they are having a charter from Atlanta to Tuscaloosa. If you're in Atlanta area and you're trying to travel to Tuscaloosa and you don't want to drive, you want to get your drink on and not have to worry about it, hit the charter. TailgateKingsATL.com. So y'all make sure y'all get out there for that, man. So listen, man, moving on, talking about Angel and Caitlin. Caitlin especially leading the voting in the All-Star, for the All-Star game for the WNBA, and then I'm tailgating with the MLB All-Stars. Stat guy, what's going on with the MLB All-Star, man? I think some of the people that you wanted in, man, might have got left off the roster.
Yeah, so there's issue with it every year. You talk about the MLB does something. I personally love it until it backfires and players that I want to see in the All-Star game that I think deserve it don't make it. But every team is represented. So it don't matter how good you are, how bad you are, you're getting at least one person from your team on the All-Star roster. For the second year in a row, Pete Alonso of the New York Mets came out and said that he would not participate in the home run derby unless he was an All-Star. And because he's participated in it 4 or 5 times, he's won it twice, they picked him as the Mets' lone All-Star over former Gamecock Christian Walker, who has far and away been the better first baseman all year long. And your boy has been hot about it all week.
Right. Listen, man, Stat Guy is the resident Gamecock dog, and he's hot about that, man. Hey, listen, they got to do. Listen, it's business, baby. They got to do it for business. The first membership, Bishop Frank gifted it to Nelio. Shout out to Nelio, man, and then he's gifted another one. Y'all better jump on this. Y'all better listen, man. Y'all better message Bishop Frank. He out here giving out memberships. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate it. Marcel Azuna in the home run derby, right? Yep. Right. We'll see what that's gonna turn out to be. So
I will say that'll be fun as Brave fans to see him. I will let you know you probably want to watch that on mute because they will bring up his life choices and indiscretions about 9,000 times that have already been talked about more than they need to. It's been handled. The stuff went down as they said it did when it first released, but the media is going to run people through the mud and ask questions later. So I would advise watching Marcell Ozuna's appearance in the Home Run Derby on mute.
Right. What's up, Dave, man? David Talk Buff gets in here, man. One of my favorite Colorado YouTube channels, man. He said Juju is looking like more and more every day like a Buff. That is correct, man. Julian Lewis is looking like he's gonna flip. We'll see. Hey, man. He's dropping they dropping his stars and everything, but hey, man, stars don't matter if you already seen the talent. So right. Anthony says, what's going on, Anthony? He says, is that for the Clemson UGA tailgate? No, it's they may be doing something for that game, but they're doing a charter, Tailgate Kings ATL. They're taking a charter from Atlanta to Tuscaloosa. So if you want to jump on that, I know I talked to JV. They are going to be doing some other games as well, man. Stink ass cat in the building. Look, hey, I told you, boy, Bishop Frank's out here throwing. Hey, man, like he hit the lottery, man. He throwing memberships out there. Y'all better jump on it.
just throwing them, man. Woo!
Right. Better get in on it, man. Hey, and when you join, man, you should automatically get a link for the Discord to join the Discord, man. Y'all come up in there. You automatically get in on the Fanatic level, and then there's a couple other levels that we'll be adding later. So that's right, Stink Ass Cat. What's going on? He says good morning to everybody. So there it is. Anthony White got him one from Bishop. There we go. Lance B says glad to see Ozuna, Saleh, Lopez in it. It's good to see Freeman and Betts in it again as well. I did not know until Stat Guy told me that they have to be a representative from every team on the All-Star. I didn't know that.
But I think it's with how large baseball is, with how many people go to the All-Star game, because you're talking about the pitchers are only going to pitch one inning at a time. It's not like they go 7 innings like they would in normal start. So you get a ton of pitchers and stuff. It's great for everybody to be represented because everybody goes to All-Star game. It's right. In Atlanta. It's in Atlanta next year. Your boy's hoping to be down there for the All-Star festivities in the A next year, but people travel from all over the country to see the best players in the world and to see hopefully their favorite player. So it's cool that every team gets that little special nod, unlike the NBA or some of the other sports where it's all just popularity or stats.
Right. Well, that's good to see, man. Listen, and no, I'm not just keeping one comment up here from Bishop Franks. He is doling them out, man. Listen, the Discord, another one from Bishop Franks. The Discord gonna be on fire, man. So we're gonna be talking mad trash to each other, but it's all in good fun. You flying to Vegas to watch the Summer League? Okay, that's what's up. Speaking of the Summer League, we're gonna talk a little USA basketball, man. Bronny out here. What you think about Bronny, David? What's your thoughts? Load management during the summer. What we doing? Be safe on them flights, too, though, man.
Yep.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Bishop Franks, for getting out there, man. So Brensky, new cookout family member.
I love it, man. Yeah, Brensky.
Right, man. So who's gonna win the home run derby, Stat Guy?
Obviously I'm rooting for Ozuna, but you got Pete Alonso participates every year. He knows what he's doing. They actually changed the rules a little bit this year, so it's more time now. So it should be interesting. You still have your outs, but it's basically how many you can hit in 3 minutes. So you can let pitches go now if they're not right where you want them. One thing I'm excited to see, one of the guys participating in the home run derby is going to have a kid from Malden, South Carolina, pitching to him. Also a former Gamecock. So Scotty Wingo, former Gamecock, 2-time national champion. He was a baseball coach for him in one of the lower levels, and he won the home run derby in like rookie ball with him, and it's just throwing the pitches to him. So he's going to be out there pitching to him.
Shout out to Malden, South Carolina, and the Gamecocks, man. We down here in South Carolina. That's right around home. So we appreciate that. That's right. Hey, man, Bishop Frank's doing it, man. Y'all better get on Bishop Frank's good side, man. He out here throwing out memberships. Y'all better do it. So, man, the MLB All-Star Game coming up, man, and listen, I like the MLB All-Star Game. Stat, didn't you tell me like whoever wins that gets home field in the?
Yeah, so that was a couple years ago. They got rid of that, but for a while, whoever won the All-Star, they had a tie one year, and they're like, "Oh, we shouldn't have ties." So then they put it: whoever won the All-Star Game, AL or NL, got home field advantage for the World Series. But then they realized that was absolutely stupid, so they got rid of that, and now it's just every other year. But I don't know. I think the All-Star Game needs to be fun. I don't think there needs to be stipulations on it. I mean, you got guys that this is their 4 days off. Atlanta's going to have played 13 games in 13 days leading up to the All-Star Game. And you got 3 guys out there who were in another city away from their families still instead of 4 days off. Let it be a fun event. Why put any pressure on it?
Big facts. I'm with that. Shout out to Mars getting in, man. What's up, Mars? He said, what's up, Coach Stat and Jake, man. So I think that's right, man. I think it should be for fun. I like the All-Star Game. Sometimes, listen, baseball is a long game, dog. So sometimes, right, Jake? Sometimes all you can do is watch the All-Star Game.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like that's one of those sports for me, like golf, where I will take a nap and wake up, and the game's still going. And then I'm really tuning into the end. You know what I'm saying? Like I love parts of baseball. I mean, I played a little when I was young. You know, but then because of football, I got directed to move to track and field. Of course, that just
all
happened.
Skill positions.
Yes.
That's a public service announcement. If you're in high school and you're a skill position, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, or corner or safety, get on the track team.
Yeah, that's important.
For that matter, if you won the big ugly hog mollies up front, you can still get on the track team. Just get ready to throw some stuff.
Yeah. No, so go do powerlifting, you know. But
yeah.
You know, but yeah, man, I love baseball. I like I said, we have up in Seattle, you have the Mariners, and then which is so fun to watch. And then Tampa, you have like the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Which is kind of a weird. Their stadium's not even like in like Tampa. So that's kind of strange. But for overall, you know, it's funny is Azuna, right? Like I bring him up because I was watching the Collectibles King, right? The Golden Touch on Netflix. And they're talking about Azuna and he had an item on there. I don't know if it was like his very first signed rookie card. It's crazy the amount of money that goes to sports collectibles though.
Listen, man. People wonder where a lot of this money. Listen, people love sports. That's just what it is. Man, I tell Stat Guy all the time, man. Just in baseball alone, man. Whether collectibles, tickets, salaries, especially, it's like money's just thrown around like it's just being printed in the backyard. Regardless, man. Bishop says today's SEC tailgate menu: oxtails, ham hock, neck bones, collard greens, black eyed peas, Johnny cakes, and great Kool-Aid. Welcome to the biggest breakfast tailgate. Listen, man. That's a lot of that stuff gonna be at your tailgate now that you Oklahoma and Texas fans are in the SEC. Just know all of that stuff Bishop listed on there. Somebody's having a tailgate somewhere this year that's gonna have that stuff. Stink Ass says learned a lot about baseball as a kid in the 80s through a baseball card collection. Man, that's right. One of my first baseball cards, Stink Ass, if you remember. The A's were playing in the World Series, and they had it was the A's. They was playing in the World Series, and they had a
earthquake,
and it was like the card said "Lights Out at Candlestick." I was like, I don't know if it was the A's, but I know it was at Candlestick, and it was Lights Out at Candlestick. It was like a long time ago. So I still got a couple of those cards. I'm trying to hold on to them, man. I don't know if they worth a lot now, but
never know, man.
You know, hey, man, some of these guys got scandals messing my baseball card collection up. I got a Rafael Palmeiro rookie card.
Not worth the paper it's printed on.
I got a Barry Bonds Future Stars card.
Okay.
I got a Jose Canseco rookie card. So it's like, I don't know, man. 89. It's either 89 or 90. That's right, Stink Ass Cat. I don't know, man. So hey, man, speaking of All-Stars, man, we're moving on to some All-Stars that's playing in USA basketball, but one All-Star did not make it. Even though Kawhi has stepped down from the team, they had to find somebody to replace him. They put another Celtic on the team. It was already Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday. They chose Derek White, Jake, and not Finals MVP Jaylen Brown.
Well, why?
Listen.
Like, what? Why would you not pick the Finals MVP? Man, that's crazy to me.
Listen. Well, when after COVID and all of that stuff, and Kyrie came out and said some stuff, and then Nike kind of backed off of him. Mm-hmm. Jaylen Brown tweeted back then, and this is the speculation. Jaylen Brown tweeted back then. This is what when did Nike care about ethics? That was his tweet back then. And so some people says that because of that and the relationship between him and Nike, maybe that's why he didn't make the team. And so he retweeted or he tweeted it out today and said, Nike, this is what we own. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a cryptic tweet, like why he didn't get picked for the team. Grant Hill comes out. Shout out to Nedio, man. We appreciate you, Nedio, man. $5 super chat. We appreciate you. Hey, man, appreciate you being in the building, man. Talking a little USA basketball. We'll move on to some Clemson and FSU trying to get out of the ACC at every turn. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Listen, Brown is getting some Isaiah Thomas type treatment, BNG. Isaiah Thomas, it was more so, listen, Grant Hill's answer sounds a lot like the answer they gave for Isaiah Thomas, even though I feel like Isaiah Thomas was more player-led than Jaylen Brown's. Jaylen Brown's more corporate-led. Mm-hmm. Grant Hill came out and said, it's not the Nike thing. That's not why we didn't pick Jaylen Brown. We have to pick a guy. We're trying to win. We have to pick somebody that's best fits the chemistry, basically, is what roundabout what he said. And that's kind of what they said about Isaiah Thomas not being on the 92 Dream Team. They said that, it just wouldn't fit the chemistry. Now, of course, everybody saw the Michael Jordan document, and it was always said that Michael Jordan kept him off the team. Mm-hmm. But then somebody else said Magic was leading the charge. I don't know. Isaiah, I'm not going to say he was the greatest to get along with if he wasn't a Piston, but I'm pretty sure that putting Isaiah on instead of John Stockton wouldn't have messed up the Dream Team.
No.
But what's the thoughts, Jaylen Brown not on Derek White, dog? Yeah. Derek White. Hey, Hey, Derek White's a great role player, and maybe that's what they was looking for, another role player.
Maybe. I mean, if they're really gonna look at it from that route and not like put like the best, it's an all-star team. Like, I mean, that's what you look at it as in this situation is an all-star team. And I feel like you should put the best guys out there. You're not necessarily, this is not like a paid position. This isn't like a team that you're putting together to win like an NBA championship. This is a team that you're just bringing the best together, right? And they need to work cohesively because they're the best, right? You would think they have all the skill sets needed to do everything they need to do. So it doesn't make sense to say, oh, well, we need team cohesion. What? This isn't like a real team, people. It's real, but it's not like an NBA team, It's not like someone goes out and owns this team. It's a USA team.
It's kind of like somebody said for Caitlin, like that 14, 15 spot, 12 spot, whatever it is, we should be good enough that other spot doesn't really matter. Now, if he gets put on the team and doesn't get as much playing time, does he tweet about that? Maybe they was thinking about that. Benji says still doesn't make sense for Brown not to be on the team. Tell LeBron sit his old butt down, rest of his body for the upcoming season. It's time for the Olympics is over. Listen. To that point, Benji, all the players on the team voted LeBron best on the team coming out of the USA training camp. So, I mean,
I wonder if like he kicked their ass. What I'm saying?
According to the film they were showing and the workouts, he was getting it in. Man, Brown not being there is definitely political. Right. Yeah. We trying to win. You put the finals MVP on the team. If we lose, we will be the laughing stock. That is true.
We'll need a dream team again to get back onto, relevancy. USA. It sucks. It's right. Here's the weird part, right? Is you look at the way the world looks right now at the United States. Okay. Not trying to, hey, we're not going political, but I just got to say this in one sense. You look at the way the world looks at the United States. This was kind of the similar feel back then during the time frame of why they put the dream team together, because they were getting beat by Russia. They're getting beat by like these other teams that they were like, no, you don't beat the United States. So we're going to show you what we're really made of. And then you put all this firepower together, right? I wonder if we're going to have to end up seeing that again.
Oh, we'll see. That guy, Benji, gets in and say excited to see the high school on the team. He made the it's the team that they get to do an exhibition against or practice against or whatever. He actually had a really good game. He had like 30 points against or something like that. And then speak on the Team USA taking on Canada.
Yeah. Cooper Flagg has done nothing over the last year and a half but show he is about that. And that I think he's going to have a great freshman year at Duke. I'm sure he's going to be one and done. But I mean, with this new, with the new money NBA's talking about, some of these college kids should probably get that degree and not be one and done and get that real money when they come out.
Well, they talked about that. They said if Cooper Flagg was to stay at Duke, him coming out, his rookie contract would be so massive coming out after the fourth year. If you know what I'm saying,
if he was to stay at Duke all 4 years, potentially his rookie contract could be like 80 mil per, which is crazy because LeBron got like 5.5.
What the God.
Right. They say if he stays at Duke for 4 years because of the salary increases and things of that nature, I think they said if you projected to go up 10% every year, by the time he comes out of Duke, his deal could be for like 80 mil a year. And that's a rookie contract, bro. So that's crazy. But shout out to Cooper for just to be a part of the organization, whether it's the practice team. That's how kind of Kyrie got put on. He was on the practice team, and he was pretty much schooling everybody. That's really what he was doing in practice. He was in an exhibition. He was schooling everybody. This right, Shelby gets this. It was an interesting video they put out on social media. How all the guys were coming out of practice. You can look at the body language and tell they were super tired. But out of all of them that they showed, they didn't show a couple of them. But out of everybody they showed, including coaches, Steph is the only one that stopped to sign the fans' memorabilia. Shout out to Steph Curry, man, having a little gas in the tank left, man, to please the fans, man. So
I think that's a problem with sports as a whole right now. Minus women's basketball, minus the WNBA. I think the WNBA is doing a great job of interacting with their fans after games, but you just don't. I feel like we've lost some of that of who they're playing for, especially with kids. Now with baseball, they sign autographs a lot of times before games, so that's fine. But with other sports, you see these videos all the time where just head down, and I get it. You just finished a 3-hour workout or whatever, but you're making $40 or $50 million a year because of these people buying your jerseys and watching on TV and everything. Even if you don't want to sign anything, take 5 seconds to tap a kid on the head and make his whole year. Like if you walking by and your favorite player shakes your hand or just pats you on the head, man, that's Christmas for him right there.
That's what I'm talking about. Like I would think, like if I'm super tired and I'm coming out of the gym, I may not feel like writing, but I can just stick my hand out and kind of walk through the crowd, you know what I'm saying, and dap everybody up or whatever. Maybe that's what you do. So, but shout out to Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry, stopping, signing shoes. Somebody brought their Curry shoes out there. I was like, they was definitely hoping for that one, man. Those fans were in the desert. That's another thing. Like they was standing out there. Listen, I don't care what part of the United States you're in, you see the heat that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And to stand out there waiting on that, you definitely dedicated. It's been hot, and they're out there in that Vegas desert heat, man. So shout out to those fans for holding strong. John Collins Lance B say John Collins patted his son on the head when he saw him wearing the jersey. Listen, he's gonna remember that for the rest of his life, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Speaking of, meeting the NBA All-Stars and people like that, if y'all don't follow me on social media and know, like we did a episode earlier this week about NBA contracts, and Nick Claxton signing his new contract with the Brooklyn Nets. Nick Claxton is from South Carolina, from Greenville, where we're from. And 2019, I took my son to his first game at Stedman Coliseum in Athens to see the Dogs play. He took a picture in front of Nick's poster that they have out there. It's on one of the columns. And then he got to take a picture with Nick when he signed his contract. So that's what I'm saying. And my son was geeked about it. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of thing. It's just about bending over, taking a picture, patting somebody on the head or something like that, man. Vegas was over 100 degrees. Ooh, Jesus. Like, listen, I went to Vegas in July one time, man. And I say, listen, I like it, but bruh, it's
hot. Man, hot.
Right. Ben G says that's how I feel about Arch when I go see him in Austin and Ann Arbor. You better give me a hug and sign my belly.
That's right, man.
Yes.
That's hilarious. It's so funny, but I mean, you know what? You guys make really good points with that from the athlete standpoint. Just I didn't do anything like big, right? Like I was nothing compared to a lot of these guys. I was.
But you're a Washington fan, Jake. It didn't matter if you was a starter or
it was good
to practice player. If you had that jersey on, bro, it didn't matter. Those kids.
Well, I mean, truly, dude. Like it was weird, even coming out of high school for me. Like I've told the story before. Like I was homeschooled, right? Like so, I was homeschooled for a long time because I had a bad speech impediment because I'm deaf in my left ear. And so I had to work on my speech, and that slowed down my learning. So I had to really work my butt off, basically, to get to where I was able to do well. And so it was really strange for me when people would come up because I just wasn't a talker. They'd come up and ask, even in high school, like my senior year, when you're going through the recruiting process, for people ask for like autographs, and you're going, wow, like it's humbling. But then you go like to University of Washington, or you go to like a Florida visit. I remember going to visit Florida in Texas, and I remember going to visit Florida State. And Bobby Bowden's still there, and people are sitting there and they know who you are, and you don't realize that. Now, when you get to that higher level, I think it's crazy because at that point you really are so well known. Like you get to that pro level, you should be taking that time to acknowledge these people. Remember, time is the most valuable thing we have. And if you have to consider, if someone's taking time out of their day because they believe in you that much, they want your signature. They want ink that you just happen to put on a paper, cloth, some sort of material. You got to say, man, like that should be something you should never take for granted, because people are that. They believe in you that deeply. Like you should be very, very grateful. And I think that's my biggest message to guys is remember that and stay humble with that, because that will help you along your path to success and during this journey of sports. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for me, Coach, I have a cool story with that. One of our former players, Zach, was a starter at Louisville in the secondary. He had just finished up his senior season.
Shout out, nephew.
I'm in Atlanta opening up a restaurant. He rides through on his way home to see your boy. I'm sure he was probably looking for some
free food.
Something food. I'm sure he was coming to get the hookup, but I had to look out. But one of the tables out on the patio sees him. I go to talk to him, and they're like, "How do you know him?" And so I started telling him, and I was like, "Wait a second, how do you know him?" And because I don't think about that's just a kid I coach. I don't think about him being like recognizable like that, but just a family from Louisville that season ticket holders, and so they know all the players' faces. And so I'm like, to me, that was eye-opening that like these people know who their players are and stuff. And so I wish they would have told me sooner. I would have sent them over to say what's up to them. But it is like I think they lose sight of who sees them and how recognizable they are if they don't see themselves in the superstar role. Because obviously he wasn't Lamar Jackson. Everybody knew who Lamar Jackson was, but he was a starter on the team. And so He was very recognizable, and so I think athletes lose sight of that sometimes.
Big facts, man. Shout out to nephew playing at Louisville. Listen, man, as a Georgia fan, I got one of the best things I could ever have. Nephew got to play against. Listen, when I was going to college, I was like, okay, yeah, him and my other nephew. I'm like, if they can just play, that's fine. But they played, they started, they had good careers, and they both got to play against the Dogs. They both took them L's to the Dogs, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Louisville and App State.
Hey, but not for naught. Ike Lewis did put your Dogs on ESPN top 10.
Well, he did. He got the one-hand catch against the future Thorpe Award winner, DeAndre Baker. But shout out to Nick. Yeah. He likes to tell me about that catch all the time. I'm like, hey, man, but the Dogs won. The Dogs won. So I got some nice hardware from the Louisville Dog game. It was the Belt Bowl in Charlotte. Neff gave me the ring that it actually has the score on it, so it actually fits me a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Welcome into the Breakfast Tailgate. If you just joined us, man, we're talking a little bit of Olympic basketball and how those fans were standing in the heat waiting on those guys, and Steph Curry took some time to stop and sign some autographs, man. We're about to move on to the ACC, and Clemson and FSU. They want out, Jake. They want out. So, well, I don't care. I don't think they care where they go at this point. They just want out. Now, we don't have all the details on how true the Big 12 rumors are. We've heard them coming to the SEC. We've heard Big 12, and we've heard Big 10. Thoughts, Jake, on where you think Clemson and or Florida State fit? I personally don't feel like just because they're the best two teams in the ACC, they got to be a tandem. I think, one could go one place and one could go another.
So I was thinking the same thing. It's interesting because as I was thinking about this even this morning before we jumped on, I was sitting there going, you should almost, you play this season and it should be based on how well you play. Like, how competitive really are you, right? Like, so if you're that competitive, maybe you get a chance to come into, I've heard everything, right? They really want to be part of the SEC, but maybe you get a chance for one of the teams to enter the SEC and maybe a team from the SEC exit. Just an idea, because if we really want to make this a super power league, because we are going, it's becoming very clear we're going in that direction.
Right.
It will be interesting to see how the Big 12 does. I think that's going to be interesting to see how competitive they are this year, in especially with the multi-team playoff, right? And how many teams they are able to get in. If it's two, I think a lot of people have said maybe two. See, can they get three based on the way they play and the record, right? I mean, I don't think so, but if they want to become more competitive, more relevant, then the Big 12 would be like, hey, okay, let's grab those two teams, because now it just continues to build our power on our side in comparison to the other two. So
if they can grab FSU and Clemson, that definitely will solidify them. If they can't, I've been saying for a while, if Clemson and FSU leave the ACC and they go to either the SEC or the Big 10, I've been saying it's moving to two super conferences, kind of like the NFL, and everybody else will have to be a lower level or something. Stink ass cat gets in and says Big 12 commissioner was talking trash about the ACC yesterday at Big 12 media days. Listen, man, there's no love lost between some of these conferences. And Greg Sankey of the SEC, he knows what he has. I don't know. He's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? He's on adding teams. He's like, I like where we are with the SEC, because he knows for the most. I mean, listen, the Big Ten got a lot of big brands, but with Texas and OU coming in, the SEC was already overall the top dog. We already know that. But with Texas and OU coming in, two blue bloods, I mean, that just solidifies their position that much more. I want to shout out my big brother getting in here. He was talking about it. That's why he's got respect for Cam Newton during his time in the NFL. He always took time out for the kids, whether signing or taking pictures. That's right, man. Benji says the Aggies really want to leave the SEC. I know they were not happy about Texas coming to the SEC. I know that. So Shelby says, where are you going to go? Don't bring it to the SEC. That's what Jake was talking about, man. It's like maybe they should have some kind of, hey, if you have a good enough season, like you got to play your way in almost.
Well, and that's like seriously, if in a weird way, and I'm not trying to throw shade on Vanderbilt and whatnot, but Vanderbilt's almost a walkover game every year, right? Like at some point you're going, okay, are you guys you're on the schedule, so we feel like that's one win. Like that shouldn't necessarily be the case in the SEC. I'm not trying to be harsh on Vanderbilt. I'm sure they got a bunch of other stuff that they're good at. But I'm just looking at it strictly from football side of things, because obviously SEC, that's what brings in the most money. That's where I would say, okay, if you're the bottom tier team for this long, you get this long to try and improve. If you don't, then we need to go find a new team.
But the thing that's going to always help Vanderbilt more so even than academics, they are a founding member of the SEC.
Right.
And
right.
That doesn't matter anymore, though.
In the SEC, it does, I think.
Oh, and I get it, but shit, like, dude, look how much money is being dropped on all this stuff. Like, look at the contract for college football now. It doesn't matter if you founded anything.
Yeah, but
it's all about who you should be or how.
There's also no precedence, and Vanderbilt is probably one of the 3 or 4 schools that are in these bigger conferences with like Northwestern. That's not the school you want to pick a legal argument with when you're trying to set precedents, because they're going to have all the lawyers that have graduated from there that are like, let's go to war, and Vanderbilt's just going to be the richest university of all time.
That's right. And then when it comes to football, of course, we know what Vandy is, but hey, man, Vandy is a part of it when it comes to basketball. Not sometimes basketball, but baseball for sure. But we need Vandy for the GPA, man. We got to keep him in there. Bro, he said comes to the SEC and FS. He's a Miami fan, by the way. My big brother's a Miami fan, so that's why it says FSU. Hey, the Pac-10 is no more, bro. It's just Oregon. It's the Pac-2, and they're not. I don't know how long that's gonna be. We need the Vanderbilt wins. That's right. At least one. That's right. Texas got Vanderbilt this year. So,
but I was telling you before the show, I really think that Florida State, kind of Clemson, but Florida State's been the one that's been way more vocal about it. They overplayed their hand. All these other schools, like Colorado and the Four Corners, when they left last year, it was in the darkness of the night. Bam, they left. New deal. Florida State's just come out and been like, we're leaving, and they're looking around thinking everybody was going to jump up and down. Oh, pick me, and now they're left standing outside in the rain with no umbrella. And the Big 12 is a lateral move. It's a lateral move to go to the Big 12. It doesn't. The only way it helps you is if they clean house of the ACC and the Pac-2 then join back together. You now make that a group of 5 conference, and now you have 3 super conferences, and you hope they somehow can strike a deal where all 3 of them get 4 teams in the playoffs. But if that's not the case, going to the Big 12 doesn't help either of those universities one bit, especially when it comes to football.
Right. It'll be more advantageous for the Big 12 than it would be for Clemson and Florida State. Neilio gets in and says, I don't remember, and maybe it happened. I don't think so, Neilio, but has a program or school ever been legit booted from a legit conference? And they haven't. And I'm telling you, like, that's one thing I said a couple of seasons ago when I was on Jason Hall of Fame College Football Show, when I was making the case or saying that I thought I was going to 2 super conferences. I know, like, especially we always think football first, but there are a lot of other sports. But even in football, it's different when you're saying I'm better. It's for Vandy. There's some of these teams like, well, why can't we be in the SEC? Vandy's in the SEC. Well, that's the thing. If you're already in the club, you don't have to convince the bouncer to let you in. You know what I'm saying? And they've been in the club since it started. So it's like, they like, hey, man, we already here. Northwestern. We already here, what I'm saying? Rutgers already here. So my brother said he knows it's just the Pac-2. He said he wanted to send FSU out there anyway.
Hate him. He's a hater.
Hey, that's that Miami Florida State hate right there.
I love it.
So Benji says I think FSU and Clemson just won out of their media deal. That's right, tied to the ACC, man. It was a trash contract. They get like significantly lower money than the rest of the conferences, and it's a long contract. I want to say it's like to 2032 or something like that. So But Benji says, but truth be told, ACC pays out larger than the Big 12, so that's something to consider. Maybe Big 12 says if they can get Clemson and Florida State, then they can go back to the TV network and say, look, hey, we got prime time over there at Colorado. We got some good teams in Utah and Kansas State. You know what I'm saying? Gundy's out here always in the news. So that's some people say all press is good press. And then you bring in stalwarts like Clemson and FSU, and maybe now they can, get a new TV deal.
Clemson fans will absolutely hate that because welcome to the big noon kickoff, noon high in Clemson, South Carolina, when it's going to be 95 degrees half the year. They are going to absolutely hate that. You know what? But I don't know if y'all saw this. They've been releasing all this leaked footage of the new NCAA game. And one of the first leaked footages of Clemson running down the hill, they had the MAC patch on their jerseys. And my heart smiled. I was like, please let Clemson go to the MAC. I would love that.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Just troll them. It's a silent troll in a
right
video.
Right. I think I know FSU has some history with the SEC. SEC wanted them originally back in the day, like in the 80s or whatever, and they were nah, we good, we chilling. It was a back and forth thing. Like the SEC wanted them. Florida even made a case for them one time. Crazy enough, because they hate Florida State. But it was a back and forth, and a lot of people said Bobby Bowden had a lot to do with that. He was like, nah, man, we good over here because this is a basketball conference and we can basically control football. And they did for a long time. And then after that, the SEC was kind of like, all right, then we don't want you either. And now Greg Sankey's in a position where he can pick and choose what teams come, right? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I would like to see Clemson in the SEC, to be honest with you. And that's just because I'm a football fan, college football fan. I can take or leave FSU, to be honest with you. I think they could look good in the Big Ten. I know that's a longer way away. But what happens to the ACC if these guys leave? I don't know.
They join. So if Florida State and Clemson leaves, you have to think that Vatech, Vatech, probably North Carolina State,
Virginia, North Carolina.
A lot of those are going to go and get dispersed elsewhere. You're probably left with 4 to 6 schools, and they're going to go hook up with Oregon State and Washington State. On the plus side, Stanford and Cal are already out there, and they're going to be unwanted again, so the 4 of them can link back up together. But I personally, if the SEC is to add anybody, it's not going to be Clemson and Florida State. It's going to be a North Carolina school, and it's going to be Virginia or Vatech.
I can see North Carolina State. They're a textile school here in the South. That's big in the South, especially North Carolina. South Carolina, I mean, Clemson is too, but at least they're in that textile bowl. That's actually what they call it. I can see North Carolina State coming to the SEC, to be honest. I wouldn't mind that. So.
I would love North Carolina State Vatech.
That would be dope.
I would love that.
Dope. So, hey, man, we appreciate y'all getting in here on the Breakfast Tailgate. We've been going for about an hour. Today is Mrs. Fanatic's birthday, so I got to get up out of here and cook her favorite lunch, which is some ribs. So I am not on the grill, people. I am not out there in the heat. I'm going to cook these ribs in the oven, man. But we appreciate y'all jumping in here today, man. Joining us for the Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I, man. Jake stopping by, stat guy. Jake, tell them where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, man. Set the Tone, Alabama, and College Football Talk is the new channel. Come check it out. I'll be releasing some videos. We're starting to do some lives here soon. Like I said, it's just a few, like a week or two old now. So check it out. Come subscribe, like, share, see what I have to say. I just did a video on Oregon's recruiting too, because Oregon's recruiting has been kind of wild. I don't typically do videos on other schools like that, but Oregon, especially Oregon, no, I had to, because I was really interested to see from a staff standpoint what they had put together. So come check it out. Let me know what you think. I also did it on the coaching changes regarding now taking away that limited number of coachable positions, even though that has always been under the radar, what's been going on, but now you don't have to say it. Now you can have the number of assistant coaches you want. So did a video on that. Yeah, it is Set the Tone. Alabama and college football talk. Honestly, if you just look at Coach J-Mare right here, if you type that into YouTube, just the way it looks right here,
keep it all caps, right?
Yep, all capital letters. You can find it. So,
Right.
and I think there's a link here in the about for this video too here at
Right.
Fanatics. So appreciate
Right.
it.
If you check the description, it'll be in the description, man. Shout out to everybody that joined us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Shout out to all of our people in the comments, man. Of course, shout out to our channel members. Of course, the OGs that started out, and it was funny enough. It was one OU fan, one Texas fan. Shout out to Chicken and Big G, and shout out to Nidio. Shout out to Bishop, man. Bishop was out here. Listen, y'all better join. Y'all better get in on the breakfast tailgate. You never know, man. Bishop was out here with Christmas in July, just tossing memberships out. Shout out to my big bro for tuning in. Hey, man, get back to work. Shout out to the first lady Shelby, always tapping in from home. Shout out to my nephew on the road, man, Lance B. Mars, don't want to miss anybody, man, because our comments was on fire today. We appreciate that, man. Elio, stink ass cat, appreciate you jumping in, my man. Who else was up in here today? We was done. If I miss you, I'm sorry. We'll try to get you subscribe. That's right. Subscribe. All right. Hey, Stat Guy, what you got for us before we get out of here, man?
Hey, man, look, everybody, y'all enjoy y'all's weekend. Be sure to tune into the All-Star Game next week. It's fun. They do crazy events all week long with it. Check out the Home Run Derby. But like I said, be sure to hit that mute button when the Big Bear Masuo Zuna comes up, because they are going to be talking some trash.
Big facts, man. We appreciate y'all getting in here for the Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, man. We talk all college sports. Y'all know on the rest of the channel, we do college football, a little bit of basketball here and there. Y'all go check that episode we dropped out for Chuck and Buckets, our basketball podcast, where we actually got some exclusive footage of the private contract signing with Nick Claxton. I got an interview with him and his basketball coach as well. Again, appreciate y'all for joining the Fanatic, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for today, man.